Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint.com is now TradingCardMint.com. Please check out their selection of over 20,000 cards with prices cheaper than TCG Player. I can't tell everybody how happy I am to be back on this deck. It has been so long since I've gotten the chance to play something that felt like original Shadow Paladin. Now this deck does feel kind of like a former shell of itself, don't get me wrong, but oh my god, it is so fun to play. So first off, you guys remember the intro, TradingCardMint.com, you know, down there in the description? Please, I ask you, check them out. Enter MCOL40 on checkout. Save you guys yourselves a little bit of money, and you guys should be fine. So this deck fulfills my need to be an aggressive shit aggro player. And for those of you that have seen the history on this channel, I've always been very aggressive with Shadow Paladin. I've not learned the word, I need to, but I've always had a love for Shadow because your entire deck is a deck of advantage. Everything that you tend to want to generate is advantage. And I find this deck, having played it against only really Excel so far for playtesting, I like Blaster because he just punishes so many really weird things. You would think that 3 for 3ing a board would be kind of weird, and you might not want to do it, but Skull Witch and a Main just kind of let you do it. Now, the thing I do find about this deck is you can burn yourself out of resources very quickly. And I think the more I play this, the more that the saying about needing to know when to use Damn Charging Lance is incredibly, like, you have to understand. Now, the thing I find most interesting about this is our sub-grade 3s suck. I'm gonna just be bluntly honest with you. They are fucking god-ass awful. I found myself a couple of times, it's like if your opponent floods you, if they're an Excel clan and they flood you, for example, when I was testing Ansauce in here, he would flood me out, and it's like, well, I have this and the Dictator in my hand, but I have free units coming to me, so I need to answer his board. If he's committing 3 front row monsters to the board and that's it, you damn right we're going to ride into this and go Damn Charging Lance, just so that we can, you know, disrupt our opponent and go into a better situation. I think it's one of the things I was liking most about this in general, is just because of that. So, so of course we are playing 4 copies of the Dragon. Also believe that this was a list from Asia. Gotta give credit where credit was due. I believe that this one won something decently sized. And I will say, I love this deck already. So, Counterblast 1, kill 3 of yours, kill 3 of your opponents. This thing does have an errata, can't kill a Vanguard, so don't get too freaked out about that. And then he also got the additional effect of, if your opponent has 4 or less cards in their damage zone, you can Soul Blast a grade 3 and ping your opponent for a damage. Literally, the longer the game goes, the more ridiculous Mr. Dragon here actually gets. Like, the pressure is so real from him. Now, I think this card's shit, but we have to play it. I know somebody's going to disagree with me. Well, Robbie gets 2k for all of your other rear guards. Sure, that's fine. He can be 23 all he wants to be. But he doesn't do what this guy does. Like, I understand that you have to balance out the deck by giving them some sort of shit grade 3s. That's fine. But he just kind of falls short of what I want. His act, though, is Counterblast 1, call up to 1 grade 2 or less from your hand to rear guard. That unit gets 5k, and then your opponent chooses one of your rear guards and retires it. I want this to be a draw effect. I remember when Shadow Paladin could call units from their deck. Don't you guys? But I guess pressure is key, especially like if you want to retire something, but I don't like my opponent being able to retire things. Like, it's kind of annoying. Now, this guy, this is a one of. I don't know how I feel about this one either. Having played it as a one of, oh my god, it's good. So look, it's just Counterblast 1, or Soul Blast 1 once per turn. Look at the top card of your deck, call it. Oh yeah, and that unit gets 5k. I literally forget about that every single time. But, hi, I'm the aggressor. Like, I gotta give it to you, Badaka, you survived. Alright. 4 copies of my avatar. This card is dumb as hell in Standard. I'm gonna be bluntly honest with you. Twin Drive on grade 2. What were they thinking? Even if I gotta get 4 copies of this. This art is so beautiful. There's not much to really say. I mean, I like the fact that you can be aggro with this deck, because if you have a good hand, if you open up the domain, like, you just start calling domain columns. Literally, like, grade 1, call the domain behind the Vanguard, turn 2, rest this one, get a 10k column. Like, Flugel Spam was degenerate for a reason. You know, it sucks if you have to ride the domain, but pressure is really good. Alright. Hello, grade 2s. Hello, trash. I mean, hello, Maka. So, the thing I like doing with Maka here is calling the Javelin with this, or calling the Karen for the counter charge. It's cute, I will say that. You got my attention. 10k, and the fact that it's fucking once per turn, like, I like me some act abilities. I'm going to just be honest with you, but free, you need the draw power in this deck. You also need the domains for deck vending. Like, you gotta get to them. This was the other big aggressor too. This is the one that you will try to pull aggro with your opponent. When it attacks Vanguard, it gets 3k, so it's automatically 13 until the end of the battle. For each of your rear guards, you have more than your opponent, and it's 9,000 if you have more, or if you have 5 and your opponent has 2. So, who doesn't like pressure cards? Now, I think this is the best damn card in this deck. I will probably be proven wrong, but you call it your first chunk of these, and then you're like, oh, what do I start calling that? You start calling triggers. I know people don't like that, and a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but your 5k triggers, they're just fuel for your dragon. You have to understand that you can take away from things, but if you need a damn charging lance every single fucking turn, you need to be able to alleviate one of those cards. You can't keep throwing down minuses every single turn. It sucks eating a trigger out of your deck, especially a critical. Or, I mean, you can go for a draw, but you have to understand that this card does generate advantage. And especially if you're going the no-holds-bar of just trying to burst down your opponent, like, you have to use this. 4 copies of Javi. I like Javi. Javi's pretty cool. Literally just kind of bust one draw card. Turn it into a fresh 11k. Aggro, aggro, aggro. As long as you open up domain plus blaster, oh my god, enjoy your free turn 2 of an 11k plus twin drive. Like, your opponent's not gonna fucking out that shit. Like, once again, the aggressor. That's all this deck is. Just aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Use your draw power to regain back your engine while throwing large numbers at your opponent. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, and I still don't know how I feel about this. So, Soul Boss 1, call grade 0 from your hand. Draw a card. So, I, one, don't like wasting more shield value, but I find that sometimes you need the aggression to keep going. And I find that even if I have to call a trigger to retire for the dragon, this deck does give you recruitability. I wish this would just call grade 0 from the deck. My life would be happier. But honestly, this card's not bad. I understand why you play it. Then we play 3 copies of good old Karen. Soul Blast 1 isn't too hefty to get the extra power for the counter charge. I mean, once again, this just turns into an aggressive 11k on her own. And if you find yourself in a shitty situation where you're running out of counter blast, you at least have built-in counter charging to be able to kind of recoup that investment. So I will say it's fine. You just have to play things. The rest of this is pretty stable, actually. Starter is full bow. 4 copies of the draw trigger. I find the draw trigger to be pretty... You're not playing grade 1 Sentinels. We're playing 8 crit and 4 draw. So that's kind of the thing I hate about Standard. Like, your lists are kind of, you're committed to like one algorithm. You don't get a lot of choices. I'd play the shit out of 12 crit in this deck if I could. But that's that. So guys, this is New Age Shadow Paladin. I love this deck a lot. I'm going to play the shit out of this deck. You guys already know. Finally found the one thing besides Novell pique my interest in standards. Guys, please check out tradingcardmate.com down below in the description. Enter MCOL40 on checkout. Save a little bit of money. Every little bit counts. And without further ado, we're out, guys. Peace.